Hey guys, this is Bandit. Before we get into the video, I want to talk a little bit about this year's Ramdino's end of days hike on the Foothills Trail. Normally it's a 76-mile hike from one end to the other. It goes from Oconee to Table Rock in South Carolina. This year it was supposed to be a flip-flop from Oconee to Bad Creek and then back to Oconee. So it was going to take about 3 days to do the thing. We ended up cutting it short after a day and a half. And as you've probably heard from other videos, we had a lot of rain, a lot of mud. Pretty much everything that could have happened went wrong. We'll talk about that a little bit after the video. I'll hang around just after the video's over because I do want to talk about a little bit about it. But anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on the video, and you can see what happened, and we'll talk about it afterwards. We are at Oconee, so we're heading towards the trailhead going. Got to go around the lake to go around to the trailhead. As you can see behind me, we got bluegrass with us. So we're back together again. It's gonna be a good trip. I think we got to go around this building. So this is gonna be a rainy trip, I know that. They're calling for, like I said earlier this morning, it is gonna be a very rainy trip. Already saw Mama Bear and Little Bear. Got to see them briefly, did not get them on camera, unfortunately. Wish I did. I'll try to get others as we go along. I'll try to get more on there. But did want to let you guys know we're out here. And as we see more people, we'll definitely get them on camera. Once I catch up to my sons, we'll get them and we'll go. So anyway, we'll talk to you guys in a little while. All right, folks, we are here. This is the trailhead. You see bluegrass over there. Of course, you know he's doing his video as well, so got us all in there. All right, so here comes Josh and Cody. I think you met them on my last trail, so you've seen them. There's Josh. Cody's following right behind him. Hey. And we're gonna head on. You can see it's a foggy, misty day, so we've had plenty of these, so it's not really anything new to us, and it's cold. It's about 38 degrees. There are a lot of people here. We're getting a late start, so they're all ahead of us, so we may not meet them till we get to camp this evening. Hopefully we'll meet some good people. Been seeing a lot of blowdowns from Hurricane Helene. Trail maintainers have done a great job of cleaning this place up. Still have not a lot to do from Bad Creek to Table Rock, but this area through here, they've done a great job of cleaning it up. But there are a lot of trees down everywhere. You can see where we're coming up on some more right in there. Yeah, we got a brand new bridge here, so I don't know if this one got destroyed during the hurricane or it was just time to replace it. Got a group of hikers up above us. Don't know who they are. Trail's still got a lot of leaves on it, but surprisingly it's not too slick. Now these wooden bridges are a little slippery, but not too awful bad. All right, guys. Guess where we are? And we're getting ready to see an old friend. Somebody you've seen many times before. There's the Leapfrog Cafe. Let me put this on wide angle so we can get everybody in here and see what we got. See what we got in here. See if I see anybody I know. Hey, how y'all doing?
Good.
Hey, how you doing?
She was looking for you.
I was looking for you. I followed you this year.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
I appreciate that. You mind being on YouTube? Because I'm filming everything in here.
This is Flower Power.
Hey,
Flower Power. It is
yeah.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And look who's behind me.
Oh my God.
Well, I recognize you guys.
Yeah.
She watches y'all all the time.
Yeah. It was a nice journey.
It was.
Let me come around here and say hey over here. Hey, man. How you doing?
Good.
How you doing, man? Nice to see you again. Hey, guys.
You're my new friend.
You what? Hot. Coffee will be fine.
Coffee's good, okay?
And there's Ramdino over there. Of course, you see Fresh Ground over here just off the coffee. How you doing, Ramdino?
Cow.
All right. Hey, everybody, look who all we've met here. We told you we were going to meet some people that's been the through hike that was on the AT while we were on the AT. We got I Suck at Hiking. This is Michael from I Suck at Hiking.
Master Splinter. And Leo.
And then we got Mama Bear and Little Bear here. Of course, I brought Bluegrass with me. So, told you you're going to meet some people you know, so I wanted to get us all together so you can see us out here. So, we'll see who else we see while we're out here this week. All right, guys, that was fun. That was about 6 miles in. Had Fresh Ground and Ramdino and everybody set up there. We knew they were going to be there. It was good to see some of the fellow YouTubers there, fellow AT through hikers. There's more out here. Looking to see Stick the Eagle. He said he was going to be out here. I don't know if the rain sort of deterred some other people from coming out here or not, because it's supposed to really rain tomorrow. But hope not, and hopefully we get to see them. We're going to keep an eye out for them. Right now it's just kind of chilly, but the rain has stopped. And gonna enjoy the trip. That was a lot of fun meeting everybody. Got a good hot dog, hot cup of coffee. Can't beat that. Stop for just a second to get a little quick video moment, or camera moment, picture moment. This is Harvey Falls. It's the smallest of the falls out here. It's small. All right, we back at it. We're about 8.5 miles in now. Getting our first views of Chattooga River. Don't know if you can even see it down there. Hopefully you can hear it. I'm only planning on doing about 12 miles today. And I don't know how many we'll get tomorrow because it's supposed to be a deluge tomorrow, but there you go, maybe you can see that. It's turned out to be better than I thought it was going to be so far. We've had a few little spritzes of rain, but mostly it's just been misty. Cold when you stop hiking, but as long as you're hiking, it's pretty comfortable. This is a great trail for anybody who's even thinking about doing the Appalachian Trail, because a lot of the trails are so close to what you're going to see. At least in Georgia, anyway. Once you get up north, nothing's like it is up there. But This is what you'll see in Georgia probably. Don't have quite as big a hill climbs here. I think when you get on the AT, your first big one's going to be Sassafras Mountain. I don't think there's anything quite that difficult on this one. You have some hill climbs and some pretty good ones, but nothing like that. That's some really tall mountain laurel. This looks a whole lot like the Appalachian Trail. Except last time we saw it on the Appalachian Trail, it was in full bloom. All right, we are about 10.5 miles in, just coming down to the Chattooga River. Coming downhill, it's a little slick coming down this hill. Bluegrass just made the comment, it's a slippery kind of mud, and it is. So far, managed to stay upright though. Any of y'all who have followed me know that that's not a small feat for me to stay upright. I tend to fall a lot. Come right here, you can see a good view of the river. Isn't that gorgeous? Even on a rainy day. Don't think we'll be getting in it though. A little cool for that. Well, I got everybody on here. I want to thank Ramdino for putting on this hike. It's a chance to get to meet hikers you've never met before. Some of them are just here for this hike. Some are planning a future through hike of the Appalachian Trail. Others have hiked the Appalachian Trail. Just get a good chance to meet others in the hiking community. So Ramdino, I want to thank you. I'd rather see that to see the trail, huh? Morning, folks. We're getting ready to leave this morning. It's pouring down rain right now. They're calling for rain today, so unfortunately, I think we're going to call it today. I think we're going to work about 6 miles to where fresh ground is, and I think we're going to get a ride and we're going to call it. Everything we got is pretty damp and soaking wet, and I know Bluegrass, his quilt's soaking wet. It was soaked all the way through. We had a hard rain. We got about 3 inches of rain last night, and everything is wet. I think it was raining so hard the condensation was actually hitting the top of the tent and knocking the condensation off the tent, and everything was soaking wet. So we're going to head on there, and what was your name again?
Jennifer.
Jennifer. I can't remember names. I'm horrible with names. But you guys know that from the other one. This is Jennifer. She's going to be hiking the AT in 2025. So I'm wishing her the best of luck and hope she's going to make it just fine. I think she will. It's going to be a great trip for her. But anyway, we're going to hit the trail in just a minute, and we'll see what we see on this next 6 miles. We're almost a mile in. The rain has stopped for the moment. Trail is smoothed out. We had a couple of big uphills, as you can tell by my breathing. And yes, I've lost my trail leg since I did the AT, and I put on about 20 pounds, so I'm feeling it. Fortunately, the temperature's warmed up. It got warmer during the night. So the threat of hypothermia has gone way down. Last night when everything was getting wet and I started shivering with a 10-degree quilt, I knew something was wrong. Never had that happen before, where I guess it was the condensation in the tent and the rain beating it down. Top of my quilt got wet. And the more I kept trying to pull it up around my neck, I think what happened is all the feathers, all the down, went down towards my feet. So I woke up this morning and I was a little cool, not to the point of being hypothermic or getting or shivering or anything, but the whole upper section of my bag was completely empty, completely devoid of any down whatsoever. So I shook it back up there. Never had that happen to me before, and I don't know if it's because the outer shell was wet and sticky, so it stuck to me, and the more I pulled on it, it was just forcing the feathers down. It's just something, if others happen to be using an enlightened equipment quilt, which I highly recommend, it's a good quilt, it is something that can happen if it gets damp or it gets wet. So if you happen to have to camp in rainy weather and your tent gets wet and your top of your sleeping bag or top of your quilt gets wet and you find yourself getting cold, check to see where the feathers are. They could have migrated on you. Just something learned along the trail. You'd think after 6.5 months on AT we would have known that, but good thing about the AT, if you guys are thinking about doing that, is there are shelters about every 10 miles. And if there's not shelters, there's generally a hostel somewhere close by. And on the AT, you typically watch the weather real well. And if they're calling for rain like that, most of the time you can find a shelter or something to get out of that rain. Tents will work, but they do have their issues. All right, we've gone about 4.5 miles this morning. Just got through doing a long uphill. It should be a little short uphill here. Then we'll hit a flat, and then we'll hit some switchbacks going downhill. We're going to Fish Hatchery Road. That's where Fresh Ground and Ramdino will be. I hope we meet some other people, so I'll definitely be doing some videoing there. I think that's where we're going to call it quits today. Everything we have is soaking wet. I imagine the pack, which started off at about 25 pounds, probably weighs about 35 now. Down gets heavy when it's wet. Anyway, hopefully we'll be there in about a half hour. We'll see when we get there. All right, guys, coming to Fish Hatchery Road. This is where Fish Hatchery Road. This is where Bluegrass is already ahead of me. Put Fresh Ground and a whole lot of other hikers here. I hear there's a ton of hikers that are going to be getting off trail here because a lot of people have wet gear. 3 inches of rain is nothing to sneeze at. But anyway, you see it's a good crowd out here. And it looks like Fresh Ground doing his normal and feeding all of us. You guys want to wave? Y'all want to wave at the camera? You'll be on YouTube. You guys mind being on YouTube? No, all right. Hey guys, you don't mind being on YouTube, I hope. So yeah, we've got the whole crew out there. There's Fresh Ground over there doing his. Ramdino's doing his thing. Hopefully we can find Stick the Eagle here. I hope he'd be around here somewhere. Right there he is. I knew I'd see him somewhere. You look right there sitting around the fire eating an apple. He's doing what he normally does. Hey Stick, turn around for a second. There we go. I want to make sure you got on YouTube for me, bud. But yeah, I had to stop because he looked up here and he said, I wish I'd have caught his reaction. Oh, there's Chuck Howard. So I wish I'd have got him. So now I'm going to be on his blog for a little while, guys. So I'm going to turn off to be on his blog for a little while, and we'll get this thing done and we'll wrap this up in a little while. Hey guys, want to introduce y'all to somebody else that met over here. This is Scott Tromley. He and I used to work together at Duke Energy. He's going to be doing the Appalachian Trail in 2025. He's leaving February
17th.
February 17th. He's going to be doing the same thing I did. He's going to be documenting his trail and putting out a video every single day, just like I did. His channel is
Scott's Outdoor Excursions. Scott's Outdoor Excursions.
Scott's Outdoor Excursions, if you didn't get that. So look that up. Follow him when he gets on his. I think he's going to be a good channel and you'll like it. So anyway, I just want to make sure you guys saw that, and we'll be talking to you later. Well, that's it. Not the best video I've ever made, but it's a video nonetheless. And did want to talk to you a little bit about some of the issues that we had that day. It was a comedy of errors. I said if anything that could go wrong, we did. And started right off. We got up early in the morning, and Bluegrass and I got ready to leave. Punched in the coordinates of where we wanted to go. And I punched in Bad Creek, South Carolina, but for some reason I must have hit North Carolina. So it took me to Bad Creek, North Carolina, which was about two hours out of the way. So we ended up getting a late start on the trail. We got there, and once we got there, we meant to be there by 9 o'clock, and we got there at about quarter to 11, 10:30, quarter to 11, something like that. Well, once we got there, all the parking places were full next to the trailhead, so we had to hike about an extra mile to get to the trailhead to meet up with my sons. And we got there, but still, it was starting. It was okay. We were saying we'll catch up, not a big deal. It was misty, raining. It was foggy all day long. So we get there and we start our hike, and hike's going well. I mean, it's a little bit slick. It's not too awful bad. Camera's not working exactly right. My phone's acting funny and don't know exactly what's going on. So we get to the end of the day, and I recorded my video at the end of the day, and I should know better, but I didn't do it. I didn't check my video to make sure that it worked. Apparently I did not hit the right button, or I put it on video but forgot to hit the button to start the video. So I recorded all my video to close out the first day, and it never recorded. So that was the second mistake that we made. Well, our third mistake, I really won't call a mistake. It's just something that happened and really wasn't anybody's fault. But like I said, the weather was really rainy. It was foggy. It was misty. As soon as we got in our tents, the rain really started coming down hard. Now, I've got a single wall tent, and I know that it's prone to condensation. But with a night like we had, as foggy and as misty as it was, I don't think anything was really great in that. A lot of the hikers that were out there, we talked to a whole lot of them, and they all said their gear was wet. But what happened with the fog, the air was saturated, and it was already getting things wet. And then I had to close all 4 vestibule doors. And unfortunately, when you close the vestibule doors on a single wall tent, it's going to get condensation. That's just a given. What I didn't count on was the rain was really coming down hard, and the condensation was building up. So the rain was actually beating this is just a theory of mine anyway, but the rain was beating the top of the tent and actually beating the condensation down, so it was actually raining in the tent. The tent was not leaking. I woke up a couple times looking for leaks and never could find that, but just the condensation itself and then the rain beating it off the top of the tent, everything in there was getting wet. Well, as it got wet, mistake number 4 came up. I started pulling up on my quilt. I started getting cold. So as I pulled up on my quilt, I wasn't thinking about my arms were wet. Well, wet arms on really thin nylon sticks to the nylon. So as I pulled up my quilt and my feet were pushing down on the other end, I was pulling the nylon up and leaving the down below. So over the course of the night, the more I pulled up the quilt, the more the down worked its way down to my feet. Never had that phenomenon happen before. Down's meant to migrate around. You can move it around. The light equipment quilts are made to do that, but never had it happen before. And had I known that's what was going on, or had I thought about that was going on, I would have got up during the night and redistributed my down. I thought the down was just wet and when it had compressed, and that was the reason I was getting cold. but that wasn't the case. What it was, all the down just migrated down to the lower part of my feet. The down was getting wet, but that's not the reason I got cold. So that was mistake number 4. So then we started hiking again in the rain. It started out the morning, we started out in a rain. You can see when I first started in the video that it was raining then, but the rain quit. And we went on out, and the rest of the day, getting up to where we were going, went pretty well. But everybody's gear was wet. Bluegrass, his quilt was completely soaked. Mine was wet but not dripping. His was actually dripping. My oldest son's, his was wet. My youngest son, he fared pretty well. He had a tent that was double walled, and the outside edges of his was wet from splashback, but other than that, he was fine. It was just all of us with the single wall tents that had it. So, but I did listen to some other hikers, and a lot of the other hikers had the same issue, especially the ones with single wall tents. If you've watched Stick the Eagle, his stuff got wet, and a lot of the hikers decided to quit the day the same day we did, and same place we did. Once we got up to fresh ground, we called it. We said, that's it, we're not going to do any more. No need getting hypothermia and getting wet. They were calling that, you know, like I said, we had almost 3 inches of rain that night. They were calling for 2 inches rain the next night, and then thunderstorms the next day. So it was like, you know what, let's just go home. So we did that, which gave Bluegrass and I a chance to catch up and enjoyed ourselves. So we still had a good time. It was a good trip. Got to spend some time with my sons, which is always a good thing. So just wanted to tell you guys about the stuff that can happen, even to experienced hikers. There can be times when the weather is just not conducive to hiking and camping. And this was one of them. I think the air was just so saturated that there was hardly any way to keep everything dry. So anyway, we're going to close the video out with this, and thank you for following as usual. And as usual, we'll see you on the trail.
Early sun and the biggest sky greets hills that I have ever seen. These old stone walls and the ones they're holding, the only place I wanna be. Got that light as it comes shining in your door. Got those words as they go by. Catch that wave as it crashes over you, and keep the fire